There it is.
And we are back. Welcome to the Concession Stand. I am always your host, Tom Jr. Jackson, also known as Puddin'. And as you can see, Ray Lytle has finally lost all that weight. Isn't he look great? Now, tonight we have a great co-host tonight with us, Tyler.
What's going on, everybody?
We're going to talk all things movies, streaming, you name it, it's coming out there. So let's get going with this. Welcome, Tyler. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on,
Yeah. So I'm going to start the show with something that's going to blow your mind. What's coming on Tuesday to what they call premium video on demand, where you can just buy it or rent it. Nosferatu.
That's a good movie.
And Sonic 3. Both of those are coming to stream, to purchase.
Yep.
That's very quick because it just came out, about 2 weeks ago?
About actually back in December, I think. Right,
yeah, like
Christmas.
Around Christmas, Nosferatu came out.
Yeah. Well, Nosferatu came out at Christmas. That's a good film if you haven't seen it. Sonic 3 came out before. Yeah, and I took my nephew to see it. It was pretty good.
Sonic 3 has made almost $1 billion. And
yeah.
And they've already announced they're in the works for Sonic 4.
Yep, they had a little teaser at the end of number 3 showing that, hey, we're doing number 4 next. I'm like, my big question is Jim Carrey, because he
wants to come back. He loves playing this role.
He wants to come back, but he's also retired. So it's like, okay, but I mean, if he wants to come back by all means.
Yeah, he just turned 63 the other day.
Jesus Christ, makes you feel old all of a sudden.
Yeah, 63. And his birthday, actually, no, is it today? I think it's either yesterday or today, because I know he has the same birthday as Andy Kaufman. That is why he took that movie Man on the Moon.
Ah, that's a good film. I love that. That is
film. I love that film so much. I saw it me and my friends went and saw it 4 times at the movies. One of my friends went because of the whole wrestling aspect to it. And I used to have a video, and it's probably out there on YouTube. It's called I'm from Hollywood. And it's all about Andy and his wrestling days, where they show the videos he used to make to taunt Jerry Lawler. Oh, you got to use some soap. It's called soap, not soap. Not soap, soap. Soap where you use it and you rub it all over your body. This is a bar of soap. And then he goes and tells women to where they belong in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus. And the funny thing is that they went, Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman went to Vince McMahon and said, we're doing this thing. Would you want to be part of it? And Vince said no.
Yeah, he was hardcore against it. I mean, Man on the Moon is probably one of Jim Carrey's best films, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
one of the greatest things about that is that just imagine though, if Vince had gotten on that, how quickly people would have been watching his wrestling because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been out there so much more.
Yeah, it would have been advertising for WWF or what is it, WWE now or something like that. But yeah, I mean, Man on the Moon was probably my number 1 favorite film of Jim Carrey. Well, it's say number 2. I still got a place for it, the original Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Which still never got a third one. I'm pissed off about that, but oh well.
The Heartland update. I believe he's watching the chili cook-off. What is it? The chili
I think
it's called.
Yeah, I think it's a chili cook-off. I'm not sure what he's watching tonight.
Yeah, something about pedestrian race car drivers with chili. I don't know. I mean, apparently he's trying to become king of the Illionopolis Fest, or whatever it's called, and he wrote, "I'm getting a what's it called? Instead of a Venmo account, he called it a Venom account."
A Venom account.
And then he shared it again and went, Venom account. He didn't know how to edit it, so he shared it and just wrote, Venmo.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, he's got a Venom account. So we're gonna watch Steve turn black and eat people's heads.
Yeah, that movie should be coming out on video on
That
demand and Blu-ray
that's
soon, shouldn't it?
so it's Venom 3 is already out on video on demand. It comes on physical media this Tuesday.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Me neither. I have it coming. I know I have it coming to me.
Yeah.
I ordered it. I pre-ordered it like what about 2 months ago, something like that. And yeah, as a matter of fact, speaking of physical media, Arrow Video just is partnering up. It's partnering up with Shutter. You know that horror channel, Shutter,
Oh yeah.
to bring some of their movies out on physical media and limited edition like steel books and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay. No, Lawler didn't like Carrie, but then they made up. He ended up writing him a nice letter, and they had made up. I know that. I've seen interviews with that. As a matter of fact, there's a great interview. It's what's his name? JBL.
The wrestler, yeah. If it's the big guy with the Texas hat and limousine.
Yeah, he's got a podcast, and he had what's his name on there? Freddie Prinze Jr. And I never knew Freddie Prinze Jr. wrote for the WWE a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, he was into it. He was telling someone about what they should do, and
I have not seen a Jeff Gordon joke since fucking wow. That's okay. Why reporting films in the biblical sense? I don't know about that. I know Jim Carrey and what was the name? It was who played Two-Face in Batman Forever? Was it
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah,
Tommy
Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey.
There's a story where Jim Carrey went to a restaurant and Tommy Lee Jones was there. And he went, "Hey, how's it going?" And Tommy Lee Jones went up to him and went, "I really hate you.
Yeah.
I despise you. I don't like your buffoonery."
Which I don't know why, because it's all an act. I mean, come on. Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes to where it worked. It worked for the both of them on screen, where like if you watch What About Bob, Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss didn't get along.
Yeah.
They really, it got like to a point where something got thrown at someone. And it drove Richard Dreyfuss crazy. But you look at it on screen and it plays off so beautifully.
Well, there's a lot like Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. They never got along either. They hated each other for the longest time, if I recall.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just got that last week. Is the Saturday Night Movie, and I watched it twice. It's a great movie. It's about the first 90 minutes leading up to the first episode of SNL, and it's all done in real time. And to see that come out the way it does, it's like there's a scene where Belushi goes missing. He just wanders off, which is a thing he used to do. Like when they were making the Blues Brothers, he did that. And Gilda Radner goes and finds him, and she's sitting out. They're out at the skating ring, and she goes, "You ever been nostalgic for a moment? Like you're in the moment, but you're also nostalgic for the moment in the future." And she says, "I'm thinking about the movie. About us 20 years from now, looking back on this." And in that little line, it broke my heart knowing how her and Belushi end up within the next 20 years from that.
That's
and it's just like it's amazing to watch that go down and how this really they didn't want that show to go on. They thought it was going to fail. No one knew it was going to last 50 years for
no shit. It's a hell of a legacy. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're coming up next month. I think it's the 16th, where they're going to do the big 50th anniversary show.
Yep. I think what's
And
really interesting too is that I found out the other day Will Ferrell never liked Chris Farley either. I'm like,
yeah,
why? I mean, your comedy would complement each other. I mean, Chris Farley's the hyperactive, overweight guy. Will Ferrell's the hyperactive, thin guy. It would have
yeah.
worked, but Will Ferrell just, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Will Ferrell myself. So,
But I know one thing is that there was someone, I forgot who it was. Someone dared. Oh, it's Jay Moore. He dared Farley to take a shit outside the window at Rockefeller Center. Gave him $50, and Farley opened up the window. So he's propping up the window with his
yep.
back, and he lets one go, and it doesn't slide down the window. It slides, but it comes right back in on the desk. And then he just, oh yeah, and then he just gets up and he just runs right out of the room. Like they used to do things like that. That's how they used to, keep things going and fresh and
Yep.
funny to make each other laugh.
That's Chris
But
Farley for you.
like, and I know that like Christopher Walken blames Will Ferrell for the whole cowbell. He goes, "You ruined my life with that because people all they want to
Yeah.
ask me is about cowbell."
Well, it's such a funny bit. It was always a
It
funny
is.
bit, you know. I mean, it's so
It
iconic. I
that
mean,
that bit it's very big with the Blue Oyster Cult, which it's based
yeah.
on, but it goes right up there with that SCTV skit where Rick Moranis is playing Michael McDonald. When he's driving in a car and you hear the music playing, and then he runs into the studio just to do the backup,
Uh-huh.
and then he's getting ready to leave the studio, and he goes run back in the house to do the thing again. And the really funny story is that Michael McDonald, the singer, was high as fuck one night, and he came into his dressing room and he turned on the TV and he saw that skit, and for a good 10 minutes couldn't figure out if that was him or someone else, and he didn't know what the hell he was watching. He said, "Is that me? Did I do that?" But no, he loves that bit. Some celebrities do love that stuff.
Yeah, it was a great bit. I don't know why Christopher Walken be so pissed off over it.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that after a while, people asking you that over and over to say it over and over again. It's sort of like going up to John Lovitz and saying, "Come on, say it." That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, but that Saturday Night Movie, it's fantastic. It's really, they shot that on 16 millimeter film, as if it was one of those old, like, done through a video camera type thing, but it's done beautifully, acted well, directed well, written well, and highly recommend it. And the guy who does Dan Aykroyd in that movie has his cadence down and sounds like him.
Ooh. And that's a hell of a cadence to get down. If anybody's ever heard Dan Aykroyd, it's like, well, fuck, everybody's heard Dan Aykroyd talk.
Yeah, because at one point they're doing a skit where they have to use a gun, and he goes back to the prop master and says, "No, this is not the kind of gun I need. I need a blah blah blah." And he goes down into what kind of gun he needs, and that's how Aykroyd was. He was very specific about things.
He still is too.
Yeah, very specific. Because I believe he's on the autism spectrum a little bit, from what I've heard.
I haven't heard if he. I don't know if he has autism or anything like that, but
I know he's on the spectrum from what I hear.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. So for those of you who are wondering what's coming out this weekend in theaters, Flight Risk. Is it this weekend? Yeah, it's this weekend. Flight Risk with what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. Directed by Mel Gibson.
Oh, who's probably really wanting that paycheck right now because he lost his house in the fires.
Yeah, well, here's the great thing is that there is a trailer for Flight Risk where it shows Mel Gibson directing, and he goes, "No, we need more intensity, more intensity." And he goes, "Okay, action." And he's got this big sword. It's the sword from Braveheart, and he goes, "Here, you could take this." And he goes, I'm going to need some bandages because he was holding on to the blade so hard. And then at one point, he's drinking from a cup that says 1985 sexiest man alive. And then he starts laughing and he turns around and he's got half the blue paint on his face, like in Braveheart.
I am surprised Mel Gibson somehow still has a career after all the shit he went through in the early 2000s.
And now he's the ambassador, one of the ambassadors to Hollywood, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind him. I don't mind Stallone. I just find it weird. Jon Voight. I don't see anybody crying out for Jon Voight in a movie these days.
Right. I'm waiting for Lethal Weapon 5. They've been working on that. That's what I'm waiting on.
The story goes is that Richard Donner said to Mel Gibson, if something happens, I'm not gonna be around much longer, but if I'm not around, I want you to direct it. And he went to the producers, he went to the studio, and said, Mel is going to direct this movie if I can't.
Yep.
So they got a script. It's just that it's all about them saying, okay, yeah, we can do it. So it's just waiting on that.
I mean, considering this year, I think one of the best movies I saw was Beverly Hills Cops Axel F.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic feeling. It's like that's fitting with the time as well with Lethal Weapon.
Right.
That's one film I can't wait to see. Is it even
as a matter of fact, what's great about doing that with the Axel AF was you had John Ashton, who was, in that movie, who passed away. So he got his last roles in that movie, playing the buddy cop to Judge Reinhold. So you got that's basically half the original cast.
Well, according to this, from what I looked up, Lethal Weapon 5 is still in development.
Yeah.
But there's not.
But he said there's a great script out there. It's just that it's all about them greenlighting it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it got greenlit. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it got greenlit. It's just about with them setting a date for it to be done, because I believe Danny Glover is in his 80s.
Yeah, Danny Glover's not going to be around much longer, unfortunately.
Right. I'm like, let's make this before Danny Glover dies. We don't want it to be like him, Mel Gibson standing over his grave when it's saying, "I was too old for this shit."
The tombstone's going to literally say, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah. But I'd like to. I would see that. I definitely see that. I got all 4 of the original ones on Blu-ray in my collection. Like the other day, actually, I got the Ringu set.
The Ringu, what's that?
Now, for those of you who don't know what Ringu is, this is the original Japanese film that The Ring was based on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, these are like I used to have these in the a few years ago on DVD, and somehow one thing or another, someone borrowed it and never gave it back to me, the set. But these are all in Japanese, but they got American subtitles, and they're fantastic movies. I just love the fact that it's in Japanese, but when they say videotape, they say videotape and go right back to Japanese. So in Japanese, folks, videotape is in fact videotape.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't
and
know that.
it goes from the Ring 2, and then Ring 0, which is like a prequel to the Ring films. And then there's a lost film on there called Spiral, which is sort of like a it's the original sequel. It was supposed to be the Ring 2, but they were going to call it Spiral. It's not that good. It's okay, but they're great films. I love the Japanese horror type films. Like one of my favorite films is Audition.
Ooh.
Which, if you've never seen Audition, it's a Japanese horror film, but the first the first act is basically like it's straight drama, and you think, oh, this is a drama, and then it gets slightly weird because it's about this guy who loses his wife, and then a few years later his son's like, Dad, you should go out and meet someone. and he sets up this audition to meet women as if they're going to make a movie. So this guy and his friend meet these younger women, and this really young woman comes in, and he sort of likes her, and they hit it off, and they start seeing each other. And then you get to the second act of the movie, and then things are getting kind of weird with her,
Right.
like just very weird. And then you get to the third act, and it's that last 30, 25 minutes, something like that, where it just goes completely bonkers to what she does. And it becomes like this fever dream almost. And it was on a list of the 100 scariest movies that they did a few, like probably about 20 years ago. They did it on VH1 or Bravo, one of those channels. It was the 100 greatest scary movies of all time. And Audition was one of them. And it's because of that last 30 minutes or so of the film. But
Was
it's an incredible film.
wasn't Saw also based on a Japanese horror movie? I thought I heard
No,
that was at some point.
maybe it was. But I do know about Saw is that um, every single trap you see in those films, those are real.
Yeah.
100% based on real objects. As a matter of fact, I believe they just recently started working on Saw 11.
We're done. No more Saws. The first one was good. The third one was
Yeah,
good, but that's it. That's
yeah,
literally it. It's like they ran out of steam after the first one. The first one had such a great cliffhanger at the end. We realized the guy who's been setting this all up has been laying in the room the whole time. And
right.
the third one was good because the guy had the potential to save everybody, but he didn't because they killed it. It's the Saw films have just ran their course. They're done.
Yeah, it's sort of like, right now they're doing Scream 7.
The Scream I can still see having more life in it. Scream
Yeah,
could still have a little more life in it.
the one thing that's bothering people is that you got what's her name coming back, Nev Campbell, and the guy that's playing her husband is not Patrick Dempsey but Joel McHale,
Okay.
and he's playing her husband, and it's not the husband everybody wanted. They wanted Patrick Dempsey to come back and be the husband or whatever it is, and they say it just throws him out of the movie. I'm like, well, you haven't seen the movie yet. You don't know this could be a different guy. It couldn't.
He could still be in it somehow.
It could be in it somehow. You don't know. But yeah, and I believe this one's being directed by or written by Kevin Williamson. He's still involved with them. I mean, I
Okay.
still remember the original the original Scream film where you had Henry Winkler as the principal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I get that and Scary Movie confused sometimes because that's so alike those two films.
Yeah,
Which,
we
by the
haven't
way,
had
we're getting another Scary Movie too, but Scary Movie as well. But this time the Wayne brothers are coming back for it.
so they are coming back for it. That's good.
Yep, yep.
Because I
They've
mean you
announced
can't
it.
in my opinion, you can't do a scream. Now I'm doing it too. A
Yeah.
scary movie film without the Wayans brothers. TJ
Well,
said I haven't
Scary Movie was the original title of Scream.
yeah. TJ says I haven't watched a Scream movie since Scream 3. In my opinion, they did just fine wrapping up the original trilogy. And I agree. That third
Yeah.
one was great in wrapping it up, but Scream's like the fucking Halloween movies. They keep pumping them out and they sit there and say, this is the last one, this is the last one. And then it ends up they come up with like some harebrained idea they think will work, will sell the characters, sell the franchise. It doesn't. Scream's had some hit or misses since Scream 3, but it's not really selling tickets. It's not.
Right.
Scream was big in like the 90s, early 2000s, and then it just, like he says, after the third film, that was it. It just
Yeah,
started
because it was
dropping
such
off.
a big gap between 3 and 4.
Right. It literally, it's one of those things they should have just said, okay, we're done with it, move on to something else, make something else or something like that.
Like I think that if like I know like some people like, well, they should bring back Nightmare on Elm Street, and I thought about that. And I think if you're gonna do Nightmare on Elm Street, if you want to really do it and make it fresh and different, do it by bringing in the Dream Warriors and bringing Freddy in through that way, or like do it in a way where you build up films where if you're going to do it like a trilogy or something like that, do it where each film you bring up a member who ends up becoming part of the Dream Warriors, and then your final film you have them all get together and realize they got one common bond in going after Freddy.
Well, they need to hurry because Robert Englund's like 77 years old. He's been saying, hey, I want to make a new Nightmare on Elm Street. They did announce the other day, Warner Brothers did announce they're finally doing Gremlins 3 and Goonies 2.
Gremlins 3 and Goonies, yeah. And I believe Chris Columbus is coming back to write Goonies 2.
Yep. And it's like, well, it's about damn time, but how many of those actors now are like in their 50s, 60s, unless it's going to revolve around the kids? I don't know, but...
Well, I know this because the guy who was in Gremlins, Zach Galligan, I think his name was, or Galligan, followed me on Twitter, and one day he and I had a back and forth, and I said, well, if they ever did a Gremlins 3, would you go back for it? He goes, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
He's been waiting for a while. Yeah, he's always said he'd go back.
And I know the entire cast of Goonies wants to come back and do this. And I know, and I think they will, to do it to honor Richard Donner.
Yeah, I could see it, but Gremlins, I think Gremlins 3 would be the safer choice to say that's going to be at least a hit. Goonies 2, I'd have to see how it's done. So, yeah, next Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's going to have a walker and a breathing machine.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I know Robert Englund has said that he wants Kevin Bacon to play Freddy if he doesn't. And I'm like, okay. I could probably see that, and especially if you have the original person who played Freddy saying, if someone was going to take over the character, this is who I want.
Yeah.
And the fact that if he were to be picked, you're not hearing someone go, oh, well, what does this person say? What does Robert think about this? He's saying, oh no, this is who I would want. And I think Kevin Bacon wanted to do it. He said he would do it if need be. If it came down to it, he would love to do it. He would love to do it like that.
As long as it's better than that film with Jackie Earle Haley. And I mean, Jackie Earle Haley did a decent job, but it was not Freddy Krueger, and they screwed up the whole story so damn much. Playing this whole that film was just bad.
Well, actually, believe it or not, Wes Craven originally wanted Freddy to be a child molester also.
I get that,
and
but
they didn't put that in at the time because New Line didn't want him to.
Yeah.
It was the film that kind of launched them.
It also kind of took away from the charm of Freddy, in my opinion. Like, okay, so Freddy just kills children. It's like, why would he? You don't need to know. That's Freddy Krueger. That's what he does. It just like, I get that's what they originally wanted to do with Freddy Krueger, that he was a child molester, but it took away the charm, in my opinion.
It could have been. It could have been done better.
Yeah.
There's nothing more that you could say about at one point when it became so popular, and then we found out Freddy was a child molester, that all these children were dressing up like Freddy. I'm like, why would you dress your kid up like a child molester? Why?
I would love to see, because we've had a shit ton of Halloween movies. I'm done with them, but I'd love to see a new Friday the 13th. We haven't had a good Friday the 13th in a while.
Well, we were going to get a prequel show to Friday the 13th, and it was going to be called Crystal Lake. And it was going to be done by Brian Fuller. And my buddy Rob had read the script. He read what it was, that pilot script, and it was fantastic. And it was everything you would want from something like this. And he said it would have amped up the Friday the 13th movies like you wouldn't believe. And because whatever happened, Brian Fuller had to walk away from it because they decided to go in another direction with another person.
Yeah.
It's sort of like how Star Trek Discovery was created by Brian Fuller, and that got taken away from him. You know, that could have been a totally different show.
I didn't really.
Yeah, and now they've pretty much wiped Discovery from the canon.
Yeah, I didn't like Discovery, but it didn't need wiped from the canon. At least acknowledge it. As much as I hated Discovery, it didn't need wiped. It was a bullshit, stupid idea to just say, well, we're going to wipe it and start over and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I really got to get my buddy Rob to come on here one day, and I can just go, Rob, tell everybody what you think about modern Star Trek, and all you'd have to do is sit back, and Rob will go on.
I love Picard, the series, especially the third season.
That third season, everybody loved because that was done with what the fans wanted.
Yeah,
the guy because the guy who was doing Picard, who was overseeing it, walked away to do something else. And the guy who took over it said, well, can I do what I want? Do what you want. So he brought in the cast in Next Generation, and he did it the way he wanted to do it. And it was perfect.
Yeah, Picard was good. Picard season 3 was good. I was glad they brought in Jonathan Frakes to help direct some of it. But season 3, that's what I wanted the whole damn time. I mean, yes, it's good to see Q back. Yes, it's good to see the Borg, how it's handled, but we don't need a time travel plot. We don't need, just give me Star Trek in space. That's what we got with season 3. And it was like, that's what I wanted. And they brought what
the guy who did Star Trek 3, Picard 3, said he wanted to do Star Trek Legacy, which would be like a continuation of the Picard show, but would have brought it even more further. And the studio just no. We know what we want to do. We let you do what you did, but we have our own plans.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to push Strange New Worlds, which I do love Strange New Worlds. That's really good, but I think they're going to push it until they run out of ideas, and then they might jump over to Legacy and do that Picard timeline.
Then there's a rumor that might be a Lower Decks film, which I enjoyed Lower Decks, and I love the fact that it brought in. It had little things into it that, like, if you were really a Star Trek fan, you would know.
Oh, yeah, there are Easter eggs everywhere.
Yeah, those Easter eggs were fantastic. But it was so crazy. There was one episode that they were all naked at one point, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Lower Decks. Kluge and I have had countless arguments back and forth about this. I just couldn't get into it.
And that's fine.
Lower Decks is good for what it is, which is a comedy.
Yeah,
it's actually the only version of Trek that Amanda will watch and not bitch about.
Which, if that's the case, then they got to be doing something right, because I know Amanda's not a big Star Trek fan, period.
And I know I think, it's this week or next week, something like that, that Section 31 is coming out with Michelle Yeoh.
Yep.
So, yeah. But what else is out there? I know that they just put out on Netflix that movie Back in Action with Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, I need to see that one.
Yeah, that just came out. They just confirmed today that one of the new Marvel shows, the Marvel Zombies, will come out in October.
Oh,
The animated show that they got coming out is Marvel Zombies,
Ah.
and I saw a picture for it, and it had a zombified version of what's his name, Thanos. I'm like, oh god,
I can't wait for the new Daredevil. That looks so fucking
trailer,
good.
hardcore.
Yeah,
Very
that
hardcore.
was Daredevil on Netflix was the best thing Netflix put out at the time. And it sucked it got canceled, but that was back when like Disney was trying to pull Marvel all under the same roof. That new trailer, I love. It has the original tone for the Netflix series. It has most of it looks like the original actors.
Yes.
And it's got that dark, gritty, we're not fucking holding back feel. It's like,
oh yeah,
at least we're getting this, you know. Now, if they bring in Luke Cage, that'll be awesome too, because I like Luke Cage as well. Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, I didn't really care for. Punisher, he shows up in the trailer, but I'm fucking ready for
that the guy who plays the Punisher, that John
John Bernthal, yeah.
Bernthal. He loves that character so much, and he's very protective of it. Like he went to a comic book store, and he got all the stuff, and then he went to another one in New York, and the guy goes, "Oh, I know who you are. You got to read this, this, and this, and you better not fuck this up." That's what they said to him.
Yeah. I am concerned that Disney's going to Disneyfy either Daredevil or Punisher because they have to screw around at some point and make it this or make it that or some shit like that. But just what I see with the trailer, Daredevil Born Again, it's like Daredevil Reborn or Born Again, one or two. It looks fucking awesome.
Daredevil Born Again, yeah. It looks really good. And I think they said that what some of these shows they're gonna try to keep. I mean, now because you have all the different things on the Disney Plus app where you can have it set to all not all ages, but like mature. Yeah. They can go mature now with this stuff, which I think is great. I think it's so. We're like a month away. We are a month away from the Captain America film coming out.
That I can't wait for either. That I'm ready for.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. Yeah,
you got Harrison Ford, and then you got who plays the Falcon?
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. Yeah. I love Anthony Mackie. I couldn't think of his name for a minute there. I love Anthony Mackie, and it's like seeing him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was one of the best parts, and that's one of the better Marvel shows.
That was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
It was very much on the tone of like I don't want to say political drama, but in a way it was.
It pretty much was.
It was. It was. Yeah.
And I like the fact that everybody who would talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they'd call it Falcon and the Snowman. And I'd be like, no, that's a movie. That's another movie. That's not like, oh, that's right.
But
Winter Soldier.
At least they weren't calling it Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Yes. Jason,
you can see yourself out for that fucking horrible joke. I mean, okay, I did not care for I didn't care for WandaVision at all. I couldn't stand WandaVision. It didn't get good till
WandaVision was a very ballsy.
It was ballsy. I get why they did the art direction and the style, but I couldn't get into it. I could not get into it. And I'm sure Kluge's backstage. He's probably shaking his head in agreement. But what really sold me was when they did Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And that TV show did very well for me. So, and you also got Harrison Ford coming in as
the president. And he's General Ross.
General Ross,
yeah. Taking over for William Hurt.
Yeah, well, because William Hurt passed away, 2 years ago or so, was it?
Yeah, 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, and Harrison's going to need the money because I'm not trying to be bearer of bad news, but his mansion went up in flames too during that whole California fire. And did you hear what they lost in that fire? Kluge, I know you're backstage. Hop in here. You got to hear this.
What's up?
What? Okay, so Harrison Ford lost his mansion in the California fire. You know what he lost in the mansion?
Indiana Jones's hat and whip.
No, the hat, not the hat, but he lost the whip.
Oh man,
the whip that's been used in every film went up in flames. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's tragic. He didn't get time. He didn't have time to get it out. He said
no.
He got the hat out, but he couldn't get the whip.
Yeah,
I mean, I know a lot of people that are out there. Like my friend Rob, right behind his house, above his house, is where the evacuation place is. But where he lives is across the street from a highway. So if the fire were to come towards him, it wouldn't be able to jump over that highway. But I know people that have had to evacuate and stuff like that, and it's so hard for them out there.
Yeah.
Like I know people. I have a friend that she and her husband had to evacuate. They brought their dogs with them. The dogs are having an emotional time because of it. It's freaking the dogs out because of the quick change of venue and whatnot. And she and her husband just went back to their place, and they didn't lose a lot. The house didn't burn down, but the house next to them and across the street caught on fire. So yeah, and I remember like last weekend I was with some friends and we were streaming. We're not streaming, but we were like just hanging out behind the scenes on here on StreamYard, and we were just chatting, and we were watching the footage of the fires, and from above, when they did the pullback, it looked like as if it looked like a scene out of Oppenheimer, where the bomb just went off and just took out an entire
like
town.
War of the Worlds, or it was horrible, and it happened so fast. Just those.
And what didn't help was the insurance company, like a few weeks before, just canceling fire insurance.
That was a dirty tactic. Like Biden and Harris called them out just recently, which I'm like, yeah, good on them, because that's a dirty bullshit tactic they did. Just
and now the Los Angeles Fire Department, all those people, they want that fire captain or whoever it is that's in charge. They want her out. They want
I
her
haven't
out.
heard that part.
Yeah. I just read that today. They want her out because of her action time. Because they're saying that the houses were already on fire by the time they started to evacuate people. That's the response that they had. And it's hard to put out those fires because you have 180-mile winds going out.
Yeah.
And then, when you're trying to shoot water at it, it's spreading out because of the wind. So now all that water is getting onto everything. They think that the fire started from a house being on fire and maybe some people setting off fireworks on New Year's Eve or something like that.
So I've heard brush fire that got out of control. I've heard a house fire that got out of control. I've heard that there's actually video of people, arsonists, trying to set fire on certain spots. It's like, why in the hell would you do that? It's a horrible. No, it's a mess.
Yeah, like what they should have done was they should have been out there. You get people to go out there and clean that underbrush that's out there, all that dry shit that's on the floor of the woods and stuff. That stuff needed to get cleaned up, because if you would have taken care of that, that fire wouldn't have been as bad as it has been.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm no fire expert, so I don't know what caused it. I'm pretty sure they'll announce exactly.
Oh yeah, we'll find out.
Eventually. Yeah, we'll find out. They'll have a finding or something like that, kind of like with Lahaina, when that transformer caught fire or power line or something collapsed. Just.
Yeah, where my friend Rob lived, he said that for like a week, they shut down the power. They shut down the power and they shut down the internet because of the winds. And if any of those lines would have went down, it could have started another fire.
Probably for the best, they cut the power then. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bad situation.
Definitely. It's terrible. And I was watching my friends watch this, and the horrified look on their faces were, how is this even happening? You know, it's terrible.
Yeah. And Corey is right. FEMA sending $750 checks. That I hate how we do that. They need at least 1,000.
Yeah.
Every time there's a natural disaster, $750. No, I wipe my ass with that. $1,000 because I just lost everything. I need $1,000 for these groceries for the week. Come on now.
They need to add at least 3 or 4 more zeros to the end of that.
It's something like that. Yeah, come on. You guys have taxed me
People
so
lost
much.
their fucking homes.
And you got to look now.
$750 ain't going to replace shit.
Now you got to watch of all these people that are going to try to buy all that property that's out there that's been destroyed, and see what goes out there. Are they going to let people live by where all the fires have happened? Maybe. Well, how are you going to rebuild? Are you going to pay off those people who had homes and were paying off on them already? Are you going to pay them for those places to take it so you can rebuild? You know, because you got people that I saw someone just bought a plot of land out there or a house, and it caught fire before they could move in. Now they still got to pay on those, you know, the land and stuff. It's crazy.
That's dirty. That is on. Yep, that's on Congress. They control the purse strings. Yep, DA's absolutely right about that. That's on Congress. So
there's an idea.
What's that?
There's an idea. Let's get the Amish out there. The Amish can rebuild for everybody. They get like what, 600 houses done in about 2 days.
Dude, you can rebuild most of LA within a week with the Amish. I mean, they'll fast. They're fast with it.
Yeah.
So you want to hear about the Wolfman movie?
Okay, tell us, how was the Wolfman?
All right, so I went and saw the Wolfman this morning. This is the new film. It's a Blumhouse film, basically. It's directed by Leah Whannell, same woman who did The Invisible Man from a couple of years ago. The film itself is actually pretty cool. I liked the horror aspect of it. It's more psychological, if anything, than it is actual horror. The problem I have is this is not really a Wolfman film. If you're going into this thing, all right, let me ask you this, Tom. What do you when you hear the word Wolfman? What do you expect? What do you expect the Wolfman to look like?
The Wolfman, look like full on wolf, and
like pointy ears, snout, giant, kind of like an American Werewolf in London.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. Somebody should have told this film. I know it's an independent film, but the final fucking Wolfman looks nothing like a damn Wolfman.
Yeah, does he look like some sort of bald old man or something like that?
Yeah, it's a bald. It's okay. So the only thing they add,
he looks like Dan. He looks like Dan.
You know what? Yeah. He's got no hair. He's bald. He has pointy ears like a dog. Large canine teeth. Does not look like a Wolfman. That's it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that for they released the look of the Wolfman for Halloween Horror Nights Universal.
Yeah.
And I saw what it looked like. I'm like, have they been watching Ray's show?
It looked horrible.
Looks like Dan. It looks like Dan. What the hell?
In certain shots of the film, when you see the Wolfman or the werewolf, it's from a faraway shot, and like you'll get a glimpse of it, or you'll get an up close look at, say, a leg, an arm. It's not until like towards the end when the father fully transforms where you see what this thing actually looks like, and it's just god awful stupid. Like, you built this the whole film is like this, and I told Tom this in private message this morning. The thing I liked too was also you see the father slowly transform in the film, very reminiscent of, like, say, Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. you start seeing like his hands stretch out a little further. They're growing a little bit, not just randomly like boom, here we go. He's turning into a werewolf, not like American Werewolf of London. It's a slow transition. So he's like getting more fur on his hands, his claws, his hands are getting bigger, teeth are falling out. At one point he bites his finger off and there's a nail underneath it. It's a slow transformation, very similar to what Jeff Goldblum went through with The Fly. And the whole time the father is kind of like, oh, it's just a rash. Oh, it's this. Oh, but then he starts to lose it because he realizes he is sick with something and he's turning into something like that. Yeah, Wolfman shouldn't be like no, exactly. DA's right. That's a Wolfman. Wolf merged with a man. That's a Wolfman. What we got, I just want to point out too, Dan, Tom's the one that made a joke, not me, so don't get mad at me. But what we got, Psycho Dan, no, that's not what should have been in this film.
No.
But
although I bet you when Dan and Christina watched it, Christina's gonna be like, "Oh, he looks familiar."
Something
and then
about
Dan's
that,
gonna be like, "I'm gonna have to sue those people."
Something about that I can't put my finger on, but it looks so familiar. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I did until they got to the reveal of the actual fucking Wolfman, which I'm going to tell you right now, the Wolfman looked a lot better than the Heartlands TV show. Sorry. I don't know how that man watches. I saw the synopsis. How the fuck do you watch Heartland, Steve? The film was good up till you saw the damn monster. And at that point, I was I was disconnected. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. You guys didn't even try to make this thing look cool.
You know what I heard is that I don't know, it just popped into my head, is that there's rumors there's going to be a sequel to Days of Thunder.
They are working on one, yeah.
Yeah.
They are working on one. I think
Tom Cruise, are you listening? Are you just revisiting old movies because you got nothing else coming out?
Hey, I don't mind. Top Gun Maverick was really good.
Yeah,
I love
Maverick
Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Days of Thunder might be really good.
Yeah. And then his I think his next movie is the one where he goes to space. I know he's working on one. He's supposed to go to space. Literally going to go to space.
I don't know. We'll look this up, actually. Yeah, his next film is he's doing. Oh, it is actually going to be in space. Damn.
Yeah.
So
and it's not like the vomit comet they did for Apollo 13. No. He literally is training to go to space.
So Days of Thunder.
Because the next movie coming out from Tom Cruise is the next Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Heartland it's not Elon Musk's mission to Mars.
I don't know. But according to this, you got the next Mission Impossible, then apparently Days of Thunder 2, then fucking Tom Cruise's SpaceX adventure. The things that people will go through to make their movies good.
Well, Tom Cruise is someone who he just wants to do everything he can to enjoy what he's doing and just like he must have some sort of bucket list. What can I do that's so dangerous? I'd like you to hang out on the side of a plane and do it 8 times.
I'm gonna do a bucket. I'm gonna make my bucket list, my actual movies I work on. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hang on, I'm looking up here, Cindy. You asked.
Next season of The Bear. I don't know when they're starting up the start filming things again, because I know they stopped because of the fires. So, and it depends on where they.
Oh yeah, it is on pause because the fires are. They're filming The Bear out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say I didn't see anything on the next season. So, yeah, I mean, Days of Thunder might be good. I liked it. Also, 2 things to expect a Tom Cruise movie: him running and him riding a motor. You're not wrong, DA.
And you know what? When you watch Captain America and you see Harrison Ford, don't forget you're going to see him go with his finger. He does that thing, that point with the finger. Don't tell me what to do. You know,
Get
off my plane.
Don't make me angry.
Don't make me
You won't
red.
like it when I'm angry.
Yeah.
Don't make me red. I don't know. You think we'll get Tom Cruise in the next Avengers film? Because he was originally,
I don't know.
They originally
Maybe.
wanted him to be Iron Man until they got Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but I know we got Robert Downey Jr. coming back for Doomsday, and I think we got Chris Evans coming back as well.
Chris Evans hasn't been confirmed to be coming back, but it's pretty much. I think it's pretty much going to happen at this point. And a lot of people are sitting there saying, oh well, Anthony Mackie did such a horrible job. No, it's not because Anthony Mackie did a horrible job. Literally, they've had 2 Captain Americas in the Marvel comics, you idiots. That's what happened. There is more than one Captain America, for God's sakes.
DA, you're 100% right on that one. Conan O'Brien brought out the best comedy from Harrison Ford when the guy who was working for Conan asked Harrison Ford to sign his Millennium Falcon. And it just turned into one of those commercials, like, have you ever had a hard time opening up something like a Tupperware?
That where he brings out that big ass fucking, and come to find out they swapped it on him last minute. It wasn't his. It was another one they built up, and they brought out this Lego Millennium Falcon, and Harrison Ford just smashes it right there.
Yeah, you had me. I like it. See, then he went on Conan's podcast and went, "No, you just had me break someone's hard man hours of putting that together."
Yeah,
but it was funny.
But it was worth it.
But I love he goes, "You have me written down as Han Solo. You couldn't remember I was Han Solo." Yeah, I heard you were kind of in that movie. I heard about Luke Skywalker. I heard about the black guy, the Darth Vader, and I heard you may have been in it. You sort of, it didn't really pop, but then you were in it or something like that. And the Harrison Ford's like popped. His eyes go wide. Harrison Ford is great.
Frozen.
And Amanda wants to know how your gooch is.
Well, I did a fire sale last night where I was rolling around in the ice cold water and all that shit, and it's
from what I hear, that's pretty good for you to do. Just take one of those ice plunges.
It's not. I'll tell you that much.
No, I know.
It's ice water dumped on you.
Oh, not if you had a dump, but if you take like an ice plunge, you go into like an ice bath.
That's what we tried to do last night, but it didn't work out too well. But we raised $260 for charity, so.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
And by charity, you don't mean the Steve Stanton Fund, right?
No, not the Steve Stanton Fund. No, not the Steve Stanton.
Steve Stanton Memorial Poop Knife Fund.
Okay, I gotta fucking ask. Does this man really have a damn poop knife?
Yes.
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 Talked about it before.
Why does he have a poop knife?
Well, most people, if they were to have one, would use it to cut said turd after it's been in the bowl. As Steven has described
he has 3 poop knives.
As Steven has described it, he has taken it and actually stuck it into his ass to pry turds out.
No. He uses a butter knife, a metal butter knife.
Break the seal. As he put
it. You said it free on Amazon.
But he uses the plastic one as a peanut butter knife to get out his peanut butter.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, on the last episode of Cooking for the Poor, if you watch the last episode of Cooking for the Poors that he did, he was using that knife to stir stuff.
What that we were looking special?
At it and we're like, what is that blue knife?
What that
and I'm like, oh my
special?
God. Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Steve. Oh, well, they are labeled poop knife too. So a poop knife's an actual legitimate thing. Jesus.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen people commenting on my show about poop knives. I'm like, what the fuck's a poop knife? And now I know. Like, I had an idea, but I didn't know Steve had 3 fucking poop knives. Holy shit.
Yeah. Some people have gun collections. Some people have collections of shells and omnibuses, and some people collect poop knives. Apparently,
Hey, at least with Ray's omnibuses, it's a pretty impressive library. You
yeah, it
can't
is.
deny that. It's very impressive. I can't knock him for it. I mean, do I look like I have fucking room to knock him for it? Hell no, I don't.
I mean, I just feel bad for the people who have to deliver those in the mail because those suckers are heavy. Those things are thick.
His omnibuses, yeah, but I think he needs to read the next thing he needs to read is The Last Ronin, the Ninja Turtle Last Ronin. That's the next one he needs to read. And that's being made into a movie too, Tom. Oh God, these things are legitimate.
Yeah, they're legitimate.
$15 on Amazon.
$15, little man. Put that shit right in that hand. Jesus Christ.
So you just
I don't think you want the shit in your hand in that case.
No. Steve does.
Oh.
You know, the other day I was looking, you know, when they were talking about soap, I went on to Amazon and I'm looking up soap and I saw soap on a rope and there was a soap on a rope that looked like a poop. And I was like, oh, we should just send that to Steve.
Buy it for Steve, send it to him. Yep.
Yeah. And they just hide it in there. And then the next thing you know, Christina goes in to clean up. Oh my God, what is that? You know.
So I don't know. I don't want to know about the poop knife anymore. So you take it, you stick it in the toilet, you chop it.
Yeah, and you use it to chop it up. So when it's too big to flush. Yeah.
They also use it the Steve way. You stick it up in there between the turd and your asshole, and you try to force the turd out with it.
Right. Well, basically, you hear that, so you know it's.
Oh God!
And he breaks the seal. One of these days, we're going to hear about Christina having to go there because Steve is bleeding.
Why
are you bleeding, Steve?
Well, I shoved a knife up my ass. That's why, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Don't they have to take stool softener, Steve? That'll make your stool easier to flush. You don't need a knife, for God's sakes. Quit making your food with those damn knives. I literally tried to defend Steve as best I can because Steve is fucking hilarious, and you know, it's like he's been labeled the goddamn Central Illinois treasure. But you know, sometimes it's really fucking hard to defend when a motherfucker
soon to be king of Illiopolis.
I love that.
With a poop knife. Oh, I can't defend you on that, Steve. I usually try and lay off you and like let everybody else make the jokes, and you know, but no, this is why. Why are you using a poop knife to stir food with? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked, but fuck.
We broke Tyler, folks.
No, you did.
I'm sorry. I broke him. I can just see it now. So how did it go, Tom? How did the show go? Well, I broke Tyler. How did you break Tyler? Because of the poop knife.
Fucking poop knife.
Steve's poop knife came up in discussion.
Oh, yeah. I can see right now. Ray's listening to us. He's sitting back there reading an omnibus, listening to us talk about, you know, movies and shit like that. He's like, maybe bringing Tyler on was not the best idea. Then all of a sudden he starts hearing us talk about this fucking medieval goddamn poop knife, and he's like, that's why we brought Tyler on, to suffer. Just
to suffer. Acting, Amanda.
Tyler acts stupid for one night, justified childhood cancer. Sure, we'll go with that. So I was supposed to jump in the pool. I got a swimming pool that we were supposed to jump in last night, Tom, for the fire sale. It was frozen solid.
$20 to make sure his ass went in the pool.
Hey, I went in the pool. I just penguin slid across the ice. And let me tell you something, that ice melted off was pretty fucking bad. It's like
you're lucky your balls didn't get stuck to the ice.
No shit.
They can't see you.
Why do you have it?
Why does she have a knife?
Why does she have a knife?
That's my knife.
Is that your?
Oh
poop
no,
knife?
that's your poop knife now.
I'm not allowed to play with it apparently because I do bad things.
Oh, look at this. Look at the shirt she's wearing. She won't watch the fucking films, but she'll wear my shirt.
Why won't you watch the fucking films?
Guys in dreams killing people. Yeah, no, that's an insomnia attack there.
But she can watch Freddy versus Jason.
That's because Jason always kills Freddy all the time. And Jason is one of my
No. I think that ending to Freddy versus Jason, it's actually Jason is still in Freddy's nightmare. Because then why does the motherfucker blink at the end where he's like, ha, I got him.
Winks, yeah. He winks.
Yeah, he winks. I think Freddy pulled Jason back into the nightmare and he's going to finish Jason off there. But you never know. I don't know. Nobody,
I've actually
watch Jason, Michael, Trick or Treat, and something else. But I cannot watch Chucky, Zombies, or Freddy.
What's wrong with Zombies or Chucky?
No. I'd kick Chucky across the damn room.
do you think that the zombies are coming after you?
No. I don't like zombies because I don't know. To me, that, like, okay, I have a thing with a child. Like, if a zombie was to kill a child, I'd feel so bad over it and everything. That's why I don't watch Walking Dead, because of that. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
That's why I don't like those. Because he's a miniature psychopath and will kill anything and everything. So.
Can you highlight DA's comment down there real quick about...
Oh, cool. I found $1.
I would love to have seen Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. And Bruce Campbell, in an interview, recently revealed how that conversation went.
Yeah.
Oh, Chainsaw Massacre. I can watch that.
He got a phone call from New Line Cinema, and it was literally they wanted to use him in a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash film. And Bruce Campbell said, "Oh, yeah, I'm certainly down for that. I'd love to kill Freddy and Jason." And the film died right then and there, apparently.
Yeah. I've read the script for that. It's online.
You've read the script for it?
Yes, it's online. There are places online where you can read scripts. And it was one of the scripts I read. There was like 3 or 4 different Freddy versus Jason scripts. And one of them was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. And it took place in a mall where these things called the Fredheads were trying to resurrect Freddy. And then it ends up down in hell, and somehow Ash gets down there and he goes up against Freddy and Jason, and then the devil shows up. It's absolutely crazy. And then I think there's one where Pinhead shows up. Like there were so many different versions. Yeah.
Hey, I still would love to have seen it. I would love to have seen it. And I'm sorry, but if you're gonna do Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, you have to have Sam Raimi direct it because it would have that feel. It'd be like you're already going batshit crazy. Get the director who can do batshit crazy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my friend Rob worked on Army of Darkness. He worked in the art department doing makeup and stuff like that. He worked in that part backstage doing all that stuff. He's worked in Hollywood for the past 30, 35 years.
Oh, wow.
He's just done a audio drama called True Noir with Max Allan Collins, who wrote The Road to Perdition. And you have it's an amazing cast. It's Michael Rosenbaum as the main character, Nathan Hellier, and then there's Katie Sackhoff, and like all these great people. Patton Oswalt is in it. All these fantastic actors. There are 4 episodes out so far that you can purchase, but it's really good. He's been
What's your friend's name again? Rob what?
Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert Meyer Burnett. I'm trying to get him to come on. I got to get him to come on and talk about this because it's an amazing thing of how he met this author, Max Allan Collins, and how they decided to take one of Max's books and turn it into an audio drama. And I had the luxury of getting a sneak peek of being able to listen to the first 3 episodes, and they're fantastic. It literally feels like something out of the 40s. And they hope that if it does well enough, they want to do a few more, and then at one point maybe do a television series on it, and keep using Michael Rosenbaum as the main person for it. But it's great because originally it was going to be Todd Stash, Todd Stash, the guy who was the captain in Picard. Yeah, Todd Stashwick. He was going to originally do it, and then he had to drop out because of a prior commitment and wasn't able to do it. So then they ended up like getting Michael Rosenbaum probably about 3-4 months ago, and he's been he'd been recording and stuff like that. But it's a great thing. It's called True Noir: The Assassination of Anton Cernak, and it takes place during a real time in history, and Elliot Ness is involved in it. It's really cool. And if you want to check it out, it's at truenoir.co. And yeah, it's really cool. It's very cool that Rob did that. Rob actually did a movie with what's his name? William Shatner, and it's called Free Enterprise.
Oh, I see that in his
yeah.
He was a writer on it, it says.
Yeah, he was a writer on it. He's the director of it. Rob's a really cool guy. He's as a matter of fact, if you were to see Rob's background for his show, he in his garage, he turned into his studio. He's got all these shelves like Ray does, but Rob has all these omnibuses and they call them hot toys, these like really expensive action figures that look really great. And he's got all these lights, LED lights on them and stuff. That's what Ray needs. Just get them LED lights, put them on your shelves. You won't even have to worry about putting on the lights in his studio anymore. But Rob is like, he's awesome. He knows he worked on, let's see here if I can remember now. He worked on the first 2 X-Men films, doing the behind the scene videos. He worked on Superman Returns. He worked on the Chronicles of Narnia, and then he also he did like all the behind the scenes stuff for the Blu-ray set of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He helped remaster all those things. Yeah. And people keep asking, well, what about like Voyager and Deep Space Nine? When are those going to be remastered in 4K and all that stuff? He goes, Paramount won't do that. They will not shell out the money for that because a lot of that stuff is not in. You're not able to get into that and fix it as well enough, but it's very expensive to remaster something into 4K.
Yeah. Also, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd want to do it because that you could see all those on Paramount Plus, and that would give people an incentive not to subscribe to Paramount Plus if they could just own the DVDs.
Right, and that's why a lot of places don't put out as much anymore. I mean, there are people that still collect the physical media, but then a lot of boutique places, like I said, places like Arrow that put out stuff like this, and Second Sight and Vinegar Syndrome. There's a Lionsgate just opened up a new online place you can get limited edition steel books, different things like that, and it's something that people they will collect it. That's the sad thing. People will collect it, but the studios are like, well, why should you waste the time doing that? Well, because if you're going to put things on streaming and then take them off where no one can watch them, we want them physically where they're not altered, where you're not like that what they did with the French Connection, where they edited it to take out some of the things that were said in it, some things that were a little bit racist for that time. They took out.
Right.
Yeah, that's my buddy. That's Rob. Yeah. And Rob just he has a YouTube channel called the Burnett Work, and he just had a for like 99 cents. You can become a member of it. You can every 2 weeks or so, twice a month, they do a member call where you get 7 minutes to talk with Rob and ask him about movies, about Star Trek, about anything. And he knows a lot about movies. He actually did a film called The Hills Run Red, a horror movie with a guy named Dave Parker. And they ended up putting like almost 8 hours of behind the scenes footage and special features on it. And it's really William Sadler who is as in the True Noir, who played Death in Bill and Ted.
Huh.
He's in that too. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
And he was also in
Rob
Star
has
Trek
worked.
as Section 31 director Sloan
Mm,
in DS9.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah, Rob is he's had pretty impressive career, and I'm gonna try to get him on the show because I think he's got some really great stories. Like I've used to do during the pandemic, we would have these Zoom calls, just me and a couple friends, and we'd invite him on, and Rob would tell us stories that he really can't tell, because he'd probably get in trouble with some of the things that he would tell us. But we'd have a blast, and we'd be up to like 3 a.m. East Coast time. So that'd be like about midnight his time. Or sometimes he'll do a midnight show. Like he's doing one tonight at midnight Eastern called Midnight Metal with him and his buddy Dave Parker. And I think tonight they're going to talk about David Lynch, who passed. And probably talk about all those films. Yeah. And
that's
once in a while, they'll do these midnight metals, and it'll go till 4 o'clock in the morning. Like Rob did one for New Year's Eve, and it went till about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. He started it at 11 o'clock Eastern Time and ended it at 8:30. He went all night with it. And I was like, I can't keep monitoring. I got to go and lay down for a bit. I went and laid down, got up just to see if he was still on. He was still on. Went and laid back down, got up again. He was still on about 7 a.m. And I was waking up Lori, and I called her up and I go, hey, Rob's still streaming. She goes, what? I go, yeah, he's been going all night. He's drunk. She goes, have you been up all night? I'm like, no. I did the smart thing and took a nap. But yeah, Rob is a guy who loves hearing from people who come to his channel, like from the viewers. People could send them in letters and stuff like that, and he knows his shit. He knows about Hollywood. He knows about movies. He knows how they're made, and he will explain it down to whatever it is you need to know about it. He's a nice guy as well. And once in a while, he's also on the John Campea show, helping out on that. He hasn't done that for a while because he's been working on this True Noir. But yeah.
Wow.
He's a great guy, good friend. And it's from him I've made a lot of friends that I'm friends with on Facebook and stuff. And we all have a great time. And we have a thing where that's where I met Irene, is through Rob's channel. And then Irene sent me a link one night and said, come watch this. And it was
that's
Morning Disaster.
Morning Disaster. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I found Morning Disaster. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What kind of hillbilly backwoods shit is this? Because the first show I see is Ray talking about how he was able to take a shower and wash his ass. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who does that? Who talks about that?
I'm pretty sure I can wipe my own ass.
and then we started hearing from Steve, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch this. I have to watch this now. And
you have to watch this for the train wreck that is Steve Stanton. Yep.
And that's why we love Steve. It's that. It's either that or if he's not there, he's dead. But what do we do?
If I have to put his balls in my mouth, I don't want to put any effort into
it. Which, by the way, don't forget, Steve wants to be the king of the Illinopolis Fest, and he has a Venmo account.
Iliopolis.
You sure it's not a Venom account?
Yeah.
It's not a Venom
account. I hope
Venmo.
he gets it. I hope he gets it. It sounds like
so,
and he has a good reason for it, and I hope he goes for it.
Yeah. Corey says, I'm not gonna lie. See, I think Ray almost fell out of his chair this morning with the new clip. Ray is a dick.
Yeah.
What? There's a couple of those. I know. I heard it, and I'm cleaning my floor, and I'm like, "What in the fuck did DA just send Ray? What? DA, you got a sick ass mind."
I have them.
Yes. Yeah, it was brilliant. That's what Lori and I end up talking about. You know, we end up we'll be talking, and I'll be like, "What did you think of the show this morning?" And I'll be like, "Well, what is this with Steven talking about the 14-year-old?" And I just asked the mother the next day if it was okay. I'm like,
he says, I'm about to eat out his ass. I'm already having a shitty work day. I don't want you eating anybody's ass out. What the hell are you talking about? He says,
What?
Apparently, Jason wants Ray to eat out his ass. Is that what he said?
Out of context.
What did it say, Jason?
Jason says, I'm about to eat out his ass. I'm already having a shitty work day. I don't want you eating anybody's ass out. What the hell are you talking about?
DA, you got a sick personality. Keep it going.
That's fantastic.
That is good.
So like, do you have any movies that you're looking forward to this year that's coming up?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to the next Captain America. I'm definitely looking forward to the new Superman film. That trailer looks amazing, and I did love what Zack Snyder did with the DC universe, but this new iteration looks like it's the one we really need right now. It's the kind of Superman we need in this day and age, and there's all types of characters to see popping up in here. You see Mr. Terrific, you see Hawk Girl. I forget who it is. I think it's Nicholas Hoult who's playing Lex Luthor.
Yes.
That's a great casting choice right there. I did not care at all for Jesse Eisenberg as fucking Lex Luthor. That was the worst decision they ever could have done. But Nicholas Hoult.
Hey, here we go. He had that like, this is great, you know. No, we don't. You look like a coked up Lex Luthor.
He was a coked up Joker. That's what he really was. But I love how we're getting that film, and other than that, I haven't really heard the new Jurassic World film. Yeah. I'm a big dinosaur fan.
They just started doing Supergirl.
And they got Jason Momoa as Lobo. Yes. That is the best because he's a big Lobo fan, and he originally wanted to be Lobo, not Aquaman, and they cast him as Lobo. It's like that's the best fucking casting decision. Getting Jason Momoa. If anyone from the old Zack Snyder DCU could have survived, I would have wanted him or Gal Gadot. That was a great fucking decision.
That was excellent, you know.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you have Xbox, I highly recommend playing the Indiana Jones game.
Yes,
highly recommend
that. I've been playing that. It's very good.
And first, if you didn't know it was not Harrison Ford, you would think it was, because it's not Harrison Ford doing the voice. It's a guy named Troy Baker.
Yeah, it was Troy Baker. He does a great job.
Who does the voice? One of the voices for The Last of Us.
Yeah, he does Joel in The Last of Us.
Yeah, and so when they did the video game awards, Harrison Ford said, had I known you were going to be that good, I would have done it myself.
Yeah,
and because this game is done so well, Disney said we want more. We would like more.
There's talks of a second film. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was really good, and I know Ray's mostly a PS5 fan. For those of you who have like PlayStation and that's what you got, that's coming to PlayStation in spring. That's when you'll get that.
But it's coming under a different title. Indiana Jones and the Spear of Destiny or something like that.
Actually, I think Spear of Destiny was the last one they did. Hang on a second.
Say Dial of Destiny was the last film they did.
Yeah, that was the last film they did.
Yeah, but the game is going to be called like the Spear of Destiny or something like that. Like I've been playing the Indiana Jones game, and what's great is you can play it for like a few days, but then you can stop and do something else and then come back to it.
Oh, no, I see what he's talking about. So Spear of Destiny was the game for PlayStation from years ago. It's being packaged with Great Circle.
Oh.
So you're getting 2 Indiana Jones games for the price of one. It's still Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, but you're also getting an older Indiana Jones game with it.
Okay.
So that's what you're getting. That's what it is.
Yeah, and this game is fantastic because it starts off with a shot-for-shot Raiders of the Lost Ark beginning.
Yep.
And that, and I've seen the comparison videos from the film and then the game, and it is spot on.
They did a very good job with it. I definitely want.
And I will say this: I'm addicted to the smell of dirty balls. Nothing turns me on more.
Another one of DA's.
I just realized DA just started watching my show. He's going to be getting some clips off that for sure. Oh, Bubba, watch out.
What? Okay, someone's got to explain to me what is this deal with the Bubba and Ray feud that's going on?
I don't know. I'm just doing my own show.
Bubba used to do a
trivia
show with Steve.
Oh yeah, the Smoke Signals. Yeah.
No, he did Smoke Signals and he did trivia with Holly.
Well, thanks, DA.
Right. He did the Smoke Signals, and at one point they decided to move the program to Monday mornings.
Right.
And Bubba said that he does not get up that early on Mondays, and regardless, so the program was still moved to Mondays and now became new name Wake and Bake
with Rhino on it, right? That's Rhino. Yeah,
well, they wanted Bubba to be on it with him. It's just Bubba said that he never gets up that early, and because of it, he felt slighted that they pulled the show out from under him, so to say. So that's what happened.
And I'll give you guys a little something too, since you want to talk about this. I'll peel the curtain back on my show. So back when 420 was on our show, 420 wanted to do a stoner show with Tyler Cooley and Bubba. And this was back, I think, right when Wake and Bake started. And I told them that's going to be really hard to do because Ray's show already has a 420 show. So I literally, they want to do it so badly. So finally I said, fuck it. I called Christina. I was going to offer a trade because we kind of already share custody of Kluge with Morning Disaster. That's kind of, it is. That's kind of how it is, you know? I was going to offer a deal where it's like, I do a show for Morning Disaster.
I'm an independent contractor, goddammit.
Okay. I was going to do a show for Morning Disaster in exchange for allowing for Bubba to be on a possible stoner show. And Christina, I asked Christina, can you set up a meeting with Ray? Can you talk to Ray about that? Yeah, sure. And the next, I told Bubba, like, look, I'm going to work a deal out with Ray. We're trying to get Bubba. We're going to try and get Bubba to at least appear on a weed show with us. Well, next day, I don't know what happened, but Bubba decides to message Ray while he was on the air. And Ray was like, no, that's a stupid idea. Why would I say yes to that? No. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I told him I was going to talk to Ray. I don't know what happened, but Bubba's on our show now. I don't know what the whole feud is. I just I'm just trying to be everybody's friend. That's all I am.
And do you want to tell people where they can find your show?
Oh yeah, we're at the Best Damn Podcast. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We got well, we would have a TikTok, but fucking TikTok looks like it's going away this weekend. I don't know. It sounds like either it's from what I've heard, it's gonna be one of three things. Number one, it's not going away, which probably it's probably not going away.
I read somewhere that Trump said that he probably will give it like a 90-day stay.
That's what I've heard too. Yeah, because it's supposed to the 19th and the 20th. Trump gets inaugurated. And Trump wants to save it. I've heard it's going away. I've heard Trump's going to save it. I've heard Elon is looking to buy it. I don't know. Whatever.
No, you know who wants to buy it? The guy from Shark Tank. One of the guys from Shark Tank wanted to buy it.
Yeah, I heard that one too. Yeah.
Mr. Beast wanted to buy it.
A lot of people want to buy it. So I mean,
I find this hilarious because this app is stealing. China is spying on us. We need to get rid of this. But no, we want to save it. What?
Well, Trump originally tried to get rid of it in 2020. And the Democrats and Republicans, they all kind of got together and said, no, that ain't happening. And now here it is, like 4 years later, and the same people who said no to Trump are saying yes now. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? What is this shit?
Kiss asses. That's what they're called.
Kiss asses. Thank you. Kiss asses.
So. Well, my favorite thing is that now the inauguration is going to be indoors. And all these people that have gone down there are pissed.
Well, we should have just really cold. Yeah.
But if you look at it, when Obama was elected, it was 14 degrees out. They all wore jackets and they were all outside. But then again, it's supposed to be like 9 degrees or something like that. So I can see why.
It's supposed to be like 9 degrees with like a wind chill of -6 or something in Washington Monday. I don't know, but
yeah.
My question is, why in the fuck are they doing inaugurations in January? Like, I don't want to go stand out there and watch some guy take an oath of office in the middle of the cold in January. No, move it to like June, move it to May, somewhere around there. Move it to where it's warm.
Do you know how much it costs to make an iPhone? Do you want to take a guess of how much it costs for an iPhone to be made?
A couple thousand.
No, $10.
It costs $10 to make an iPhone.
It costs $10 for the iPhone to be built, and then they charge you, by $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, whatever it is.
Oh, so you're talking about just the assembly. You're not talking like the
assembly
part
itself. Assembling and putting together an iPhone is $10.
Oh, that's just the assembly stuff. You still have the parts too.
Yeah, you still have the parts too, like the processor and whatnot. So, I'm an Android guy. I like my Androids. I know Klug's a big iPhone user. They don't like it.
I've always found the interface much easier to use. So, and it integrates with my iPad and my Mac. I mean, shit, I can put my fucking phone up on my computer screen and fucking access the phone from it.
This was waterproof first, and it had the overlays first. Just saying.
And don't forget, you can tell who's a villain in a movie because they are not allowed to use an iPhone. Did you know that? Apple will not let villains use iPhones.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't. I think you're right on that. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Tyler, are you able to connect to satellite for emergency texting if you run out of signal somewhere
on an Android? No, but
I can.
You're going to use a satellite phone on that piece of shit Android phone. Are you serious? On an iPhone.
Built into the phone.
Do you remember the old satellite phones back in the day? Because that's technically what it is.
It's for emergency use only. It's not like a...
Hello, I've got a phone. Yes. Sorry, I can't hear you. What? I got this big radiation block by my ear.
That's what. Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Use earbuds.
Use earbuds. I don't know. I will stick with Androids. I will stick with my Droid. If you want to use iPhones, go right ahead. They burn out after 2 years, anyways.
No, it's like you buy an iPhone, and just when you get it, probably about 6 months into it, hey, we got a new iPhone coming out. Well, I just bought this iPhone. Yeah, it's gonna be old. Yeah.
6 months into it, the battery's going to fail, or the screen's going to overheat and melt the processor.
Never had that happen.
Or you're going to have the screen fade.
But I remember the Galaxy Note 7 had some overheating issues.
Wait, no. You guys had the phone that bent too easily in your pockets.
Yeah, the
iPhones. Oh, it's bent like a boomerang. Oh, God.
Yeah, remember, you notice how like they started remaking phones now that fold up again? I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah, I don't need no. My phone just connects to the to internet. It dials. That's all I need from it. That's literally it.
Yeah, so we got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. A lot of good movies coming soon. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's an animated film called what is it like? Night of Zoopocalypse, and it's an animated film, but it comes from Clive Barker, and it's a PG movie. Clive Barker is executive produced. They say it from the mind of Clive Barker. It's called Night of the Zoopocalypse, where like this aliens come down, and it's up to these animal, and it involves all kinds of animals and stuff. It looks bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
An animated feature by Clive Barker.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just saw the other day Clive Barker just did his final one of those Comic-Con type appearances because his voice is so gone from polyps on his vocal cords. So he sounds a bit like this. So it's a bit quiet, but he sounds like this. And so it sounds like he's yelling. He has to like strain his voice. But there's a lot coming out. There's that might be a Nightbreed series. He said coming soon. Like he's working on a lot of things. It's like he's not going to stop writing or anything like that. But like the appearances are going to go away and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
know.
So do you have a show tonight?
No show tonight, not till tomorrow night with Weird Frequencies, where I got Rob shows tomorrow night where we're going over all the weird, unusual stuff going on and all the UFO, UAP, ghosts, and all the conspiracy theories there.
Which, by the way, thank you for reminding me. There is another movie. There's a movie coming out this weekend called Presence, which was directed by Steven Soderbergh, and it's like a horror movie, but it's a ghost story as well. And Steven Soderbergh has always talked about wanting to make a ghost story, like a horror movie involving like a ghost type story. And there's a trailer out there for it, and it looks really interesting. And he's never done anything like this, so it should be something cool.
Well, hopefully he'll do good with it. I can't remember the last time we had a good horror movie with ghosts in it. The Conjuring films just got way out of hand. I got tired of those.
The final Conjuring film comes out in a few months. I know that.
Yeah.
And I believe I think they're doing another Nun movie. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I am wrong about that. But yeah, I didn't like the Nun 2. The Nun 2 was okay, but not as great as the first one.
No.
Yeah. It's like I said before, I find it really surprising that Nosferatu is already coming out to purchase.
Have you seen Nosferatu?
I have not seen it yet.
That's a good film. You need to see that. You need to, okay, if you like the original, I mean, I know the original is a silent film and all that stuff, but this one is identical to that, but it's amped up. Like, I mean,
because I've heard
great film.
Are you going to do this show? Well, we're doing the show when it's able for Tyler to do this. That's right, folks, because Ray got bored doing this show and he thought he was being annoying on it. So Ray decided to, instead of doing this show, he wanted to do 19 different videos a day about his comics.
I just want to go over record and say I'm not the one firing these shots, Ray. I know you gotta be watching at some point.
So yeah, but I think it's great that Ray wants to do that, and I mean, as much as I loved Ray doing the show, and I think he was great doing it, I think he can do whatever he wants. It's his network,
Yeah,
Ray, it's your channel, buddy, and you're doing good, and we see you and we accept you because this is a safe place, Ray. This is a safe place.
Shut up.
I just received a programming note. This show's now been canceled. No, I'm just kidding.
This show's now been canceled.
The show's being canceled.
We're gonna go tune in next week for Ray's What's My Omnibus?
Yes.
I wonder how many
omnibus.
That or Steve's Where's My Penis?
Or the Heartland review finally you've all been waiting for. I wonder how
so the movie we were talking about was Presence. And the other movie I was talking about was Nosferatu. Nosferatu comes to Premiere Video on Demand. That means you can rent it or buy it from like anywhere on Tuesday. So Nosferatu and Sonic 3 will be available to buy or rent on streaming.
And I believe
Venom
comes out next week. Yeah.
Yeah, Venom 3 comes out on Tuesday on physical media.
Yep.
So that's coming out, and another movie that's coming out this weekend is one of those small independent movies from the Angel Studios, who did that. Remember the one about the children being trafficked?
Oh, Sound of Freedom.
Yes,
that was a great film. I did like that film.
So they got a movie coming out this weekend called Brave the Day or Brave the Brave the Dawn or something like that. It's about a teacher that takes in a student and stands up for him, even though this kid keeps getting in trouble, and he keeps saying, "No, this is some good in this kid." And it's based on a true story. It's with Jared Harris, whose father was Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore. And the movie is directed by Jared Harris's brother.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they did that. They did that Sound of Freedom film. You go watch that film and you try leaving that movie with dry eyes. I couldn't do it. I cried.
But
then they did that.
I tried watching.
Go ahead.
I tried watching that great horror movie idea, Stuck Overnight in Steve's Apartment. No, that's just called A Nightmare. I found unicorn backpack. Coming soon. The Chubby Ray Films.
For Chubby Ray Films, the unicorn backpack. No, but they did that.
But, I tried watching it's on Peacock. It's the Lockerbie series that they've done about the Pan Am flight that went over Lockerbie and blew up.
Yeah.
And I got about maybe 15 minutes into that. I'm like, I can't watch this. It's too much. You feel really bad for those families that went through that. I'm like, I as much as I enjoy true crime and look into all that stuff, I can't do this.
Right.
Like I will watch the courts on YouTube. Like all the judges now stream onto YouTube, so you can sit there and watch their docket during the day and things that are going on in there. And I'll watch that, or once in a while I'll watch a true crime thing. Or Chris Hansen has his own YouTube channel where he's put up some To Catch a Predator type things that he does now. And one of them, I watched one the other day and I couldn't stop laughing because he's like, okay, so he said, suck daddy's cock, and I'd love to eat you out. And so he kept saying, I want you to suck daddy's cock. And he kept saying it over and over to a point where I'm like, stop saying that, Chris Hansen. It sounds creepy, but I can't stop laughing.
We need an audio clip of that.
No shit.
Yeah.
DA, that's your new assignment.
Yes. Yes. I want you to suck daddy's cock.
Yeah. I always got a kick out of the To Catch a Predator things. And I will say right now, I just hope the same thing doesn't happen to this version of the show as to what happened on the original NBC version of it, where they drove a guy to the point of killing himself.
Yeah.
And that's what killed the show.
You know, he was just Chris Hansen was just on Howie Mandel's show about a week or so ago, and he talks about how they do this now, where they do work with law enforcement. And Howie Mandel asked, "Well, what do you think about these YouTubers who try to lure in the predators?" And he's like, "I don't like it. They do it all wrong because they're luring them in, and then it's like." What do you do then? Do you let them go? Do you beat the crap out of them? What do you do? And you have to work with law enforcement on these things.
I can see that. Yeah.
But I
Holly,
love
that's what happened with the original version.
Yep.
Of the Dateline series. The family of the guy who was like a DA, he was like an assistant district attorney somewhere. And got caught doing this, and he barricaded himself in his house and ended up shooting himself while the crew had come to his place to try to catch him on camera. And then the family of the guy ended up suing NBC and got settled out of court.
It was a big financial mess for NBC. That was like late 2000. That was like around 2010, 2011 when that all went down.
Yeah. But I always enjoy the Catch a Predator when they get the guy, have a seat. So what were you thinking about doing? So you come here with
what are you doing?
Yeah, you come here with
Did you bring
duct tape and alcohol. What are you going to do with those? Nothing. I thought they were. I thought she was 18. She said she was 18. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that alcohol?
The one I laughed at the most, because I saw a couple clips of that. They catch the guy, and the guy goes running out of the house. He goes running out of the house, and the cops catch him outside the house. You see one guy goes walking by, just like, what in the hell? What is this shit? And then, later that day, the same guy who walked by the house while the other guy was getting busted, he comes walking up to the house because he was also getting caught by. Yeah, he was getting caught by Chris Hansen. He fell for the same thing. He didn't realize, oh, this house looks familiar. Oh, maybe no, he came right back like 2 hours later, like, you dumbass.
There was one, I think it may have been recently, where Chris Hansen met a guy, and the guy, he said, "I'm Chris Hansen." And the guy goes, "No, you're not." He's like, "Yes, I am." He goes, "You're not Chris Hansen." He goes, "Yes, I am Chris Hansen." No, you're not. It was like, no, you're not. So
wow.
and then but I always, I think there was one where this guy came in and he had pizza, and he's sitting there and he's just, Chris Hansen's trying to figure out why the guy's there, and the guy's just he's just shoving pizza down his throat. You want some? And he's got pizza like dripping out of his mouth. You want some pizza? You want some? No, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah.
That is a weird ass show these days.
To Catch a Predator and a Felon at the Oddfellow Apartments. So, Stephen, have a seat. So tell us, you come here with a poop knife. What were you going to do with it? And
what's in that little backpack in the closet?
What's with the duct tape and the poop knife?
Well, Steve, what What's with the Dollar General bag you have?
One
here?
little boy. Chubby. Jesus Christ.
Corey, Jesus Christ, man. On that note, I got nothing else to talk about. I mean, I don't think you can.
Chubby Ray Films presents Triple S production. When Little Ray gets stuck in the dryer complex.
Chubby Ray Films.
In the dryer complex, the pervert is sent in to investigate.
Chubby Ray Films presents a SSS production.
Oh, did the ass out first.
When Little Ray gets stuck in a dryer, the complex pervert is sent in to investigate. Coming soon.
Oh, I love that.
Vaginas of fire. The dryer lid's full, but that's not the only thing stuffed.
I'm offering you my fire.
Oh.
Ray Lito in the vagina fire.
Fuck me right in the ass.
God damn it.
Thank you for your big girthy
I
penis.
say that's just random. I think we're done. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I want to thank you all for coming.
We kind of went off topic for a while there.
We went off topic, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with you all coming and watching and hanging out with us. And, hopefully we'll do this again next week, maybe.
Yep, I get off at 6 p.m. next Saturday, so I can do it after 6.
Yeah. All right. So, once again, I am Tom. That is Jason. And that is Ray, who's lost a lot of weight. No, it is Tyler. And this has been the Concession Stand. See?
We
will see you next time.
We will see you next Saturday. So long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Jason,
Yeah, I take a dump before I come.